Okay, tell me if the audio is muted now. Can you hear me now? And of course, there's going to be stream problems. Oh. It should be back now. You can hear me? Okay, cool. Could you hear me the whole time, Nova? Maybe it was just Prince Asaro. Or maybe it was me. I don't know. I switched it. It said it was on default, the audio. Or did you misspell can't hear you? I'm scared. Oh, you couldn't hear me before. Okay, good, good, good. You never know. You never know. Okay. Let us pop. How is everybody? How are you, Nova? How are you, Princess Aro? Trying to find some head studies that would be decent. You know, I'll start with this one because it's a classic one. Haven't done it in a while. Although I suppose I could put it. Well, no, it's nice for you guys to see the reference too, so I'll put it down here. Just school assignments and doing good, thanks. Oh, good. What kind of school assignments you got, Nova? I feel like I kind of miss school. Like, I get school assignments can be crappy sometimes. You don't have the best teachers, but there's part of me that definitely misses more college than anything else because you have a lot more freedom. Finding it hard to wrap my head around Java. Oh, okay. I remember coding in Java back in the computer science days. Yeah, coding has this like really steep learning curve. Like the beginning parts are super easy, and then all of a sudden it's just crazy hard. There's a lot of math, formulas and things like that. And there's no... It's kind of creative in the sense that you're almost like an artist of code, right? Because there's no strict guidelines or anything to code something. I gotta get a few female faces in here. Let's find the ladies. They're cool too. Female faces. This one's not bad. It's true. I find it interesting how many artists I've heard out of background in programming. Maybe that's a reason why. Yeah. I think it's because the reason why is usually a lot of people who want to go into games and stuff think that coding is kind of the only path because, you know, most of us realize that, or most of us think that art is not a path we can follow if you're not talented or something, right? And then usually someone smashes that expectation. That's what happened to me, at least. And then you realize you can do art instead of programming, and programming is really annoyingly hard, and weirdly art is harder in a sense. So it's not like you got off any easier. Let's try you. Oh, why are you all... twisted? How do I rotate on this? There we go. We'll get one more. That's literally what's happening to me right now, yeah. You get into it because initially you're like, oh, I want to get into games. And you didn't think art was a path. Yeah, I'm a little frustrated that I did that too, but, you know, it's alright. One more female portrait, please. Maybe this one. It's big eyes, but it's not bad. Let me see if there's anything else. The shirt of the king. Not quite 4, but thank you. I appreciate it. I'm going to be drawing on a screen tablet today. So yeah, guys, the crazy thing, actually, let me show you. Hopefully I didn't just open up too many files. I'm doing this. You can let me know how it looks. I think it came out really good, for me at least. I don't, I hardly ever do drawings for myself, so this is the start of this, and having no fear and all that. Came out really good. I feel like he's a little older than he should be looking. But I've been really happy with it. And I inked for really the first time. I mean, I have done it a couple times. I did it, you know, with the bleach project. But yeah, it's looking good. I'm very happy about it so far. I'm only keeping this one flat colors. Thanks. It's not done yet. I still have to add shadows and stuff. There's only like a little bit on his neck and things like that. So the great... Yeah, the hair does look off. I have tried to fix it multiple times. It's the right side and the top a little bit. The left side doesn't bother me so much. I can tell when I flip it, right? It looks a little funky. And it's because literally I avoided hair for so long. I haven't, like for the longest time I would always make my characters all bald, right? And I just avoided hair forever. And it's only recently that I've been doing hair stuff. So pretty much if I don't have something to look at, I suck at hair. But we'll get better at that. So this in the Cintiq, I guess this is a Cintiq, but it can draw bald people forever. I thought I could for thought I could. Drawing on this has been amazing. Hey Binod, screen tablet. I really underestimated what it would feel like to draw on a screen tablet. I actually like it a lot more now. No, you're not late. I just started. You're good. I'm just showing you guys a drawing that I did. Haven't finished it yet. I'm gonna start drawing heads. I was just looking for one more female head reference. But yeah, drawing on the screen tablet has been really great. The problem is I can't paint on it. Wacom gave me this when we started, you know, creating our influencer relationship for free. So obviously it's not the best. I think it's the 16 or something. I just to not remember. It's an older model. So, you know, the brightness can't get very high. The colors are super wonky because my monitor is really nice. I invested in my monitor. And it's just like the comparison doesn't work really well. So when I started coloring in the ink sketch, I knew that I was choosing values that were good for light and dark for the colors, but since their brightness is low on this screen, the values are all squished. So this is something to know for the future, but like you're training your brain to understand, you know, the colors and what those look like and the values of those colors, but then the screen is showing you kind of different versions of those colors because it can't actually reproduce what you're choosing. So I needed to put it back up on my monitor. It just, I mean, it can't get any brighter than this 4. There's only so many nits. It's one of my biggest complaints with, especially, I'm not sure if all tablets are like this, but Wacom tablets, is they do not get bright. Like, except for the newest models. They're finally up to 400 nits. This, I think, is at like 200. And I think the iPad Max and stuff are even brighter than that. So it is something you have to think about. So I switched back to here. I can actually hold it up now because this is what I was using. Oh, please don't break. Okay. This is what I was using, and I plugged this back in to start drawing, or to start like doing colors and painting. Hey, as they say, Zessie? Thank you. I plugged this back in to do the painting and stuff, and it felt like my cursor was flying off the frickin' screen. I talked about this in one of my last videos, that my monitor is 3 times the size of the space here. So every, you know, large mark that shows up on the screen is actually much smaller, 3 times less size. And it made a huge difference. Sorry. Help you with what? I said hi to you, Bernard, twice. What do you need help with? A little bit, yeah. I use Pinterest. But yeah, so switching back to the tablet was just like excuse my language, but it was kind of a mindfuck because it just, my hand was like, I was just making tiny marks and it just wasn't going anywhere I wanted to go. And it literally, I only used the Cintiq maybe, it had to have been less than a dozen times before I switched back to that to do the coloring. And it's like I haven't touched that thing at all. I can't control it. It feels so weird. I really am gonna have to get a better screen tablet because it's so awful. And this is so much of a better experience. I wish the colors and the brightness were better. Your short tips are great. Thank you. I'm actually going to film shorts today, so coming back with everything. It takes a little bit of time. Oh, my ID, it's the same as, I think if you look on any of my social media, I link to it. Like even the YouTube that you're on now, if you go to the About. Hi, Candace. Yeah, an iPad's great too for. I just mean screen tablets, and you don't need to use a Cintiq. Actually, the iPad's probably the better option because it's portable. It is more than just like a screen, right? Like you can do more with it. Apple is notoriously good with their colors and their brightness. I think a lot of people like to put, you know, the like screen protector thing on that. It's not necessarily to protect the screen, but it's to make it feel scratchier. What's your thoughts on the new iPad and Apple Pencil Pro? I saw that they released that stuff. I haven't really looked at it yet. There's the unfortunate business of like, I don't know if you have heard all the stuff going on with the Congo and the exploitation of, you know, these people and child labor and all that stuff. So I'm really not wanting to get more new Apple products. It's such a hard, like, we need to use this technology, right, to draw and paint. And it is nice to have the newest technology because it's better colors, better brightness and everything, better, you know, pencil tech, whatever. And it's, you know, I don't really want to support that either. So it is really hard. I don't know. I'm probably not going to get another iPad. My current iPad is like on a slow death. It keeps like dying even though it has battery life. So I think the battery inside of it is dying. Which is frustrating. I don't think anybody's going to judge you, especially if it's your job to get an iPad. Apple always does really good stuff. I don't obviously like that they're exploiting people, an entire population, and destabilizing that area. But I'm not going to judge you if you get a new tablet. Yeah, like there you go. You can buy a refurbished one. So I'm kind of hoping to do with the Cintiq Pros. Like $3,500 for the biggest, nicest tablet is insane. That's an insane price. Wacom, I found out the other day that Wacom has their own eBay page where they sell refurbished stuff for much, much cheaper. There's obviously no Cintiq Pros there. Hi, Mikul and Chikage. Sorry, guys, I'm looking for one more. Am I the only traditional here? I draw traditionally too, Mikul. Just it's harder to do traditional on stream. You know, I'd have to set up a whole camera looking down, and then I tried like filming myself drawing traditionally, but the camera is like always in the way of what I'm trying to draw, so it's a huge pain in the ass. If somebody else has a better setup for doing that, I would be all ears. Because it's tough, frustrating. Okay, maybe we don't have another. You know what? I'll do this one. It's just a sketch, but let's go back to the beginning. Okay. Oh yeah, and 4 does paint in oils. Candace, do you have an iPad? Or do you work in like Procreate and stuff? Oh Jesus, that is the rotate tool. Why? How do I make this go back? There we go. Okay. I started my journey as a traditional artist, but after moving to another country, I got rid of all my supplies and moved to digital. Oh, okay. Any reason why? It was just easier not to have traditional tools? Alright, I'm gonna try to draw big too, because I Even though this is gonna be weird. Okay. The hell brush is that? Oh, it's the airbrush. Hey, Akil. How are you? Yeah, right now I have the M1 iPad Pro. It works very well. Missing the feeling of using traditional medium recently, but gonna move to another country in the next 6 months or so. Oh, nice. Wow, you move around a lot. I know you can get the you can change out the pen or the Apple Pencil nibs, like the tip of it, to like scratchier feeling ones. Same with like you can put a screen thing on to make it feel more like it has more roughness, you know, like paper. And I've heard that does make a difference. Have you tried using any of those? I literally work on paper. Still love watching digital artists. It's fun to watch digital artists struggle. Hey. Oh boy. So, pop in to check the live stream. I have my practicals tomorrow. I wish you could stay longer. Oh, okay, it's okay. We'll be back tomorrow, and it's fine. I'm still gonna be around. You can come anytime. Good luck with your practicals. When I come to your stream, I get a feeling of being poor. What? Why? I am not rich by any means. I'm broke as hell, dude. I've literally been looking for work and cannot find it. My, Bye, Akil. The company that I do graphic design for has been giving me like less and less hours. It's kind of a pain in the butt. So I don't know if that's even gonna continue or what's gonna happen there. So a little terrifying. Yeah, I like our streams. They're pretty fun. Um, I stopped. I mean, I opened up a Discord, so I mentioned it in there, but I stopped drawing for a little bit, mostly because, well, a couple of reasons I would say. One is that I had a health issue that I had to take care of, and that I'm not like the hero that perseveres when I find out shit is wrong with me. Like, you know, you see some people who are just they find out bad news or whatever, and they're just like, they're heroic. They don't let it get them down. I'm not that person. I'm like, I fall so far into sad feelings, I just can't. But I was pulling myself out of it. I am proud of myself a little bit for that. Before I actually found out that, you know, everything was okay. Don't want to get too personal with the details, but thought I found something bad on my body, and it is, as far as we know, totally fine. But also, you know, all the stuff that's happening in the world has also been tricky to swallow and also still pursue and make content and things like that. Like, it's hard to be a positive person when there's just like death and destruction happening around you. And then every part of leadership is just like slowly strangling every good thing about our country or just society in general. Like, I was scrolling on Twitter the other day, and I saw pictures of the Met Gala, and I literally made a tweet because I was like, this is straight up some Hunger Games shit. Like, I saw other people making the comparison, so I wasn't the only one. I was just like, at the same time that these rich people are just like in these fancy weird gowns, because if you ever watch the Hunger Games, like, it's they were always in like crazy outfits, right? And the comparison was just too obvious. It's just so weird, the juxtaposition. Like, and someone even started posting images of like kids who were injured, and then they had the same color like outfit at the Met Gala. It was like a fancy outfit. It's just so bleak. Like, I don't blame you if you watch the Met Gala to like let off steam or whatever, but anybody who went to that, they didn't say anything. Like, wouldn't it have been great if they went there and like people were wearing like watermelon dresses and it said Free Palestine or something on their dresses and stuff? But no, instead we get the Hunger Games. That's what we get. Oh my gosh. In Candace, I have a paper screen protector. It just feels different. I think my line quality suffers after moving to digital because it's easy to press the undo button. Oh my god. Candace, I think I talked about it here before, but when I was using my iPad a lot, I would go back to my sketchbook, and then I got into the habit of tapping my sketchbook with two fingers, like trying to undo my traditional sketch. I feel so stupid. I did it so often, like it hurt. It hurt personally. I totally get that. So know that you're not alone in doing that. If quality content was a person, then thank you, McCool. Becoming more like Riz guy. Nice. Definitely not easy to pursue art. Take care of yourself. Crumble when that stuff happens. Glad you're okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Zessie. Thank you, Candace. Yeah. Everybody should definitely protect their mental health. It's a very precious thing. It's gonna be... I swear if I had money, I would super chat. Thanks, Miku. I had to mute any mentions of Met Gala a few years ago. Yeah, this is pretty bad. Your artist starting mewing. I mean, everybody needs to pop their cheekbones, right? Maybe I did pop that out a little too much. I think one of the hardest things you're doing with portraits is the better you get at them, the more everything becomes more like subtle changes. And when you're still learning that kind of stuff, like your subtle changes end up being more exaggerated than you mean to. If you use Pinterest so I can get your ID. Yeah. Like I said, if you go to the About section in the YouTube on my channel, it should have a link to my Pinterest. I'm almost positive. I promise I'm not gonna keep him bald. I'm just finding the hairline. Should do that. That works. Maybe the character just has an underbite. Alright. It's been a while since I've been studying, so let's not make fun of me too hard. Yeah, I basically stopped drawing for a month. Hey, Art Diary. I needed time to recuperate. Happens to everybody. On the back of the head. Eating the paint. Some paintings do look delicious enough to eat. Sometimes we would joke that a mark of a good painting was if it looked good enough to eat. And I kind of still stand by that. I feel like we said that because it was like you didn't know how to express yourself physically when a painting was just that good. So it was like your body wanted to eat it. Because it was the only way to physically express how amazing it was. Mira, is it hard transitioning from traditional to digital painting? I know when I switched over, I wasn't very good at traditional painting, but it wasn't like, it's just different. I don't really know. I feel like if you were a better painter, someone might be able to give you a better answer, you know? but it's just not the same. Because with traditional painting, like, you gotta mix all the paint yourself. It requires a much deeper understanding, at least at first, because with digital you still need to know color. But traditional, you definitely need a much deeper understanding of how colors interact with each other to even get the color that you want. Whereas with digital, you can just click on it. And then controlling that color is another beast entirely. Is it a bit easier to learn in digital? Yeah, 100%. Again, just because the simple act of not having to mix colors, like, you will still need to know that at some point, because it will just make you better with color, and helping you understand how they interact with each other or not is really good information. But the fact that you can just select it and not have to mix the colors at the beginning, obviously makes it easier. You could argue that could end up screwing you over in the long run, you know, because if you're not learning that as you go, it can be kind of detrimental to your progress a bit. So I would still suggest like trying to learn that as you go. Putting that off can mess with your like how you learn about color and how you apply it. But again, it's easier because you don't have to mix the paint. The lore behind pigments and oil paint. It's funny. But yeah, if you were trying to paint, digital is 1,000% easier. And you can also experiment, right? So much easier. So if you're not sure about a color, it takes you 2 seconds to try another color, right? Whereas with traditional, you gotta mix that paint, you gotta mix it more, and then you're spending money while you're mixing that paint, because every time you squeeze paint out of that tube, you're like, that's another $2, $10. So yeah, it's 1,000 times easier to start digital. But again, a lot of art is knowledge based, right? Like, if you were to move from digital to traditional and you're really, really good at digital and had never touched traditional before, it's not going to take you a super long time to figure stuff out. Like, you're still going to know how colors interact with each other. You just have never touched that medium before, right? So you're going to have a little bit of time understanding how to use a new medium. but you'll figure it out, like, and it won't take too long because the knowledge that you have is still there. And the same goes from traditional to digital. Like, you don't know how to use the software, but you know how color and paint works, and light and shadow. So it's really whatever you're gonna do. It's just what you feel you want to learn the most, and then go along with that. Don't worry about like how it's gonna transfer over. It all transfers, but it also doesn't. Like you're still gonna have to learn certain things, but you're not gonna start from square one, you know. Do you know Frank Frazetta? Yeah, of course. My teacher, one of my composition teachers, would talk about him a lot. I think I had one of his books at one point. I think it's at my parents' house, though. He was very good at composition and making. My teacher talked about how he used metaphors to make compositions. And it was very, very powerful to create really compelling pieces. But yeah, Frank Frazetta is a classic. Of course I know. They teach you all that stuff in art school. I have a photocopy of one of his books. Oh, nice. It's probably the book then that I have, I'm guessing. It's like black around the edges, I remember, and then there was a, like in the bottom half there's like a painting of his. I think it had like a big warrior dude in the center. It's okay for yeah, I typically don't like to get too much unsolicited advice. I don't mind the compliment though. Or at least I think it's a compliment. Hi Green Planet, how are you? Man, I went into this thinking that my sketch sucked ass, and I'm actually figuring this out. It actually looks really good. Dude, that is so wild. Like when you start something and it just looks so terrible to you. Oh my god, and the flipped version looks good too. Yes. It's so wild how your brain works sometimes. Like, I genuinely thought this was going to turn out like complete ass. And I actually like it more than the painting. They did a better... This is Ray, by the way. She did a better job on the perspective. Like, you can see she's looking down and the downturned eyes, like the eyes are in perspective. I did a bad job there. I could still try to fix that a little bit. Not as good with that, though. And obviously, she just has incredible skill. And there's a lot of nuances here that I don't have. But I did a good job for me. Brain will just... of course, I gotta fuck up the last bit of the hair here. I think I'll do that. Yeah, okay. Wait, bro's just not gonna read the comment I said. I'll find someone else to ask. What are you talking about, Brianna? I don't see any other. Oh, you did leave one. I'm sorry, man. I can't. I'm sorry, Brianna, but I'm gonna miss some stuff. I'm drawing. So just ask again. I see your question though. I can answer it. But yeah, I'm drawing. I'm not gonna catch everything, especially, when there's more people in the chat. So you gotta have a little patience with me and ask again if I miss it. Someone will point it out. I pretty much talk to literally everybody. So you don't have to be rude, because that's not nice. So your question is, you get back into just got back into drawing, and you found that my weaknesses are fundamentals and line art. It's a habit I built that isn't good. There's not even a question here. What is your question? How do you get better line art or better fundamentals, Brianna? Candace, I think some knowledge of traditional medium helps with your art journey. Personally, I started with traditional, moved to animation, then studied fine arts. The skills really translate both ways. Yeah, I feel that way too. I don't think it's bad to start one way or the other. Like, there is a lot of controversy over that. I think a lot of old school artists will tell you to start traditional. But now I think if you have oh my god, I'm spitting on my tablet. If you're doing digital and you use a screen tablet, you're fine. Because you're still getting that one-to-one experience for the most part. It's a little off, obviously, but I think you're fine. It's basically the traditional experience. You're just drawing on a screen paper, right? If you're drawing on like one of these that has no screen, right, then that might screw you up a bit. Especially because, like I mentioned in my video, like your monitor is going to be a different size from your tablet, so every mark that you make is going to be a different size on your screen. It's going to just confuse you and mess up your skills. Proco, yeah, I love Proco. He's a friend of mine too. I've met him a bunch of times at conventions, and we had a mutual teacher, Marshall Vandruff. Proco is really great. He's an awesome guy in person. You always you have to wonder if people are good and they're just being fake on screen and stuff. But no, Proco's a really good dude. And him and Marshall actually started a podcast. I don't know if anybody listened to their podcast. It was, what was it called? The Draftsman, I think. Proko's a very good dude. I like him a lot. And he's got great resources for artists. Maybe a little too high. I definitely want to do a lot of what Proko does, but just also move into more of the the mental health space and the I took notes on this the other day. It's like Oh my god, I forget the words. Hang on. Where is it? Boop, boop. No. It is called... Jesus Christ, I'm not going to be able to find it. I literally downloaded a bunch of stuff the other day too to learn more about this. It's something that psychologists do. Oh my god. I'm panicking. I can't find it. Oh, personal initiative. It teaches things like being proactive, pro-social, disciplined, determined. There's these studies about how when you teach those things versus the actual skills that you're trying to learn, you actually improve more and do more for yourself because you're actually motivated and you stick to things. And I'm playing your stream on a speaker. I think my neighbor is coming home. As long as it's not super loud. Yeah, Elias the draftsman. Yeah, that was it. And Chicago, yeah. Okay, I think it's time to go to the next head. Oh, Jesus, I drew that the whole size. Okay, we're gonna have to turn that off. New layer. There we go. Green Planet, how do I get used to using layers in digital art? Yeah, like Force said, you don't have to use them. I really don't use too much layers. The most that I'll do is separate the foreground from the background. I'm sure, I know like when you work at a studio and stuff, they like that you use a lot of layers because they can easily remove and add things. Like, I remember watching, I used to work QA at Naughty Dog, and I would chat with some of the artists sometimes. And if you looked at their art file, like they'd have an environment of inside of a room. And, you know, everything that was in the room was on a separate layer. So like the bookcase, the bed, they were able to just turn it off and on. It makes it a lot easier to change things. But I have no intention of working for a studio, so I do not care. So I'll probably only have a couple layers at most. I usually flatten everything down. Kim Jong-gi, yeah, he was pretty amazing. I guess we also talk about a lot of the same stuff about being able to draw from imagination and things like that, and I had no idea until after. I saw him a couple times, but I never actually went up to meet him. He's usually always pretty busy. I kind of regret that now. It's a shame. He passed away way too early. I don't know if there was a health issue there or what. But again, it was very tragic what happened to him. I think for Zetta's drawing is Perard and Bridgeman inspired. I don't know Perard. What's the full name of Perard, Eli? Oh, hi, Pauline. I'm just drawing some heads today. I was showing how I... Here, I'll bring it up. Just another real quick second. I've been drawing this fan art of Kirito. I'm trying to do this like Sword Art Online stuff right now. And this is... I have only inked only a couple times in my life, so I inked this and everything, and I'm just going to do color flats for this one, but I am going to do paintings and stuff too. But this came out really cool. But, you know. Yeah, thank you. So I got to add shadows in here next and maybe like do the flat render of making sure, you know, the metal pieces look like metal. But it's getting there, almost there. Inking takes a long ass time. And I'm really not good at it, but you know, every step of the way helps. Why did I draw this so far over into the freaking corner? I think my brain automatically assumed I was going to draw the arm here, and I'm not, so. I'm great at color schemes? Wow, it's, I'm seeing you, McCool. You write a lot of stuff. And I'm trying to draw. I've tried to chime in where I can. Okay, come on. Victor Perard. Okay, I'll look that up. Let me just real quick. Victor Perard. Oh, he actually like had a little like, oh, he had a drawing book and everything. I've literally never seen this before. Every time you think you've seen everything, there's more. Oh, they look pretty good, actually. Yeah, I would buy that Frazetta was influenced by Perard. There's some similar qualities here for sure. I wonder when this was made, because it, like, even looks like it has similarities to Loomis and stuff. Maybe they influenced each other. My professors used to say that I talk a lot and your typing speed is fast. Yeah, it's okay that you talk a lot. Just know that, you know, I'm on stream, so I'm drawing and I got other people to say hi to as well. That's it. So I can't just pay attention to you. But that's okay. We're a community here. That's the whole point. We'll see. A male pheasant at your bird feeder? Are they very colorful? I feel like they're very colorful. Why the fuck can I not say colorful? Jesus. Oh, that's pretty cool though. My parents they like watching birds from their house. I grew up in Maine, so lots of nature, you know. It does. I just prefer making it rough because making a good line art takes a while to finish. Oh, because of what I said about line art. Yeah, it's tough. I'm hoping to get better at it though. I have a couple of artists that I like to look at. I'll probably do some like studies while looking at their work. I kind of just did that one on the fly, like with what I knew now. So I'll be studying it and then trying to do it again. Then I'm gonna do two per character that I'm doing. So that was the first one for Kirito. I got a second one. I already have a sketch lined up, and then I'll do two for Asuna. And then I'm drawing someone from the progressive novel, and then creating one of my own. I think this is a little tall. And I got confused by that. So just gonna bring that up and then bring you up. Hey QWERTY. I'm reading and understand that now, applying his proportions to boxes, and I can see the improvement already at my drawings. If you really mix it with Bridgeman, which Marshall taught, you can understand the anatomy quickly. Yeah, I think Marshall mentions this, but Bridgeman, as far as I know, all of his drawings were done like with a yardstick and like a piece of charcoal. Like they were super rough teaching drawings, you know. He didn't like get up close and make detailed erase stuff, and like I think they were very rough drawings, so they can kind of be difficult. So you always want to combine Bridgeman with something else. But yeah, I really do think that one of the biggest obstacles to overcome for new artists is being able to translate what you see into simple terms, meaning basic shapes. Self-distance professional. Yeah, exactly. It would have been interesting to see him draw. The fact that his drawings are that good and he was doing that is just like crazy. But yeah, being able to like look at a face and not get wrapped up in the detail of it all, to like actually break it down into the planes for new artists, breaking it into boxes, you know, like this is the front of the face, right? And then this is the side. Oop, Jesus. This is the side, makes it easier. And then the next step from that is oh Jesus, that's not right. Actually doing this is showing me that I know what I've messed up on. But they usually do this stuff, right? And so now you know that this is the front, and the back, or the side, excuse me. And being able to break down that, even in your head, you don't, at first you usually draw it, but once you start to get good at it, you end up putting it in your head, and then you don't need to draw all those guidelines as you did before. Maybe I do need to make the chin a little bigger. And yeah, and the crimson chin. The subtleties about with the jaw and the cheekbone and the chin are so hard to get right. Y'all are really roasting me today with the frickin' drawing. Oops. Oh, good night, Eli. Good luck with your studies with that. When I paint in oils, I have to constantly correct the way I hold the brushes. You're supposed to hold far back on the brush, but I keep holding it close to the front like a pen. Yeah, I think I did that too, actually. Until you get to the details, right? And then you're painting really close. I brought this down too far. Should have been the other way around here. It's much. I might have actually lifted this too high as well. But I kind of like it, so. All right. Just looks weird. I have no idea what you're saying. Should I go back to studying art again? I feel like art, or your art, is flat. What language are you guys speaking? Allow someone to message you on your pin? You can't leave comments on the pins? Mukul? Yeah, sorry, Mukul, that wasn't directed towards you. It was Eli. He's speaking another language. I just don't know what it is. Oh, Filipino. Okay. Thank you. Just don't say anything bad, please. QWERTY, I saw some of your videos inspiration because I have a bit of trouble having fun drawing again. You made me understand it's better to draw for pure fun, but I can't understand how and when to integrate the study part. You made a video. What can I look at about it? No worries, Art Diary. You guys are free to speak however you want. Tagalog. Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure nobody says anything bad, but I'm confident you guys are doing just fine, so don't worry about it. So QWERTY, integrating the study part. So it's funny because you can say to do all this stuff, and then when you actually try to implement it yourself, it's really hard. Speaking to each other is rare to find. Filipinos in foreign art community. Yeah, no, it's cool. Do your thing. I love it. Just, you know, if you ever have any bad people in the chat, make sure somebody tells me. Back to your question, QWERTY. I'm gonna. Is it? I'll get to you, Pauline, about the criticizing artworks. So, what I've been doing recently for drawing for pure fun. I want to make a video about this because it is a little nuanced, and obviously it's not going to be the same for everybody, but I really want to draw for myself because I've spent years like not drawing for me and just like studying, thinking I'm gonna get good enough to draw the things that I actually want to draw, and never actually drawing anything I want to draw, just studying constantly. So I made a project, and that's sort of what I mentioned, I think in the last video, was it? Where I did that bleach project, and I felt like I failed because I had made this pre-project on accident because I was still like doing studies in a sense, even though it was supposed to be personal work for me, because I was too afraid to work on the stuff that I really wanted to work on. And I finally fixed that. I realized what I was doing, and now I'm drawing for fun. I chose the project that I actually really wanted to work on. And even sometimes when you do that, there are going to be days where you don't want to work on it. So it's not always going to be drawing for pure fun, but pointing yourself in a good direction that you're going to be happy with is the right approach. And then the study part of it is it's, what's that phrase, like use it or lose it kind of thing. So when you're doing the personal work, the stuff that you're drawing for fun, right? And you could be better than me, worse than me, whatever your skill level is, do the thing that you want first, and then see, like, take note of all the areas that you struggle with, and then from that list of stuff, study one of those things. Like the next day, instead of working on the stuff that you really want to do. I really love learning, so it's drawing for fun is great, but you want to make sure you're drawing more for yourself than doing like studies of stuff, because it will help you. You are still studying in a sense, even when you're drawing for fun and for yourself. But you take from that list of stuff that you struggled with and you choose something that you want to study. Yeah, exactly. Drawing from imagination is problem solving. It's like doing artistic math because you actually have to flex your brain and be like, okay, I wanted to draw a character in this pose. How does this perspective look? Do the eyes line up here? And then you're like, oh, I struggled with this perspective. Tomorrow I can study figures in this exact perspective and then go back to that piece or your next piece, whatever you're going to be drawing. Try to study that and feel like you can make it better, and then use it the next day in the piece that you were doing for fun, right? So it's always trying to use, what you're doing for fun as leverage to figure out what you need to study, and then using what you study as leverage to make your personal work better. That, I think, is one of the best approaches. Sorry, I'm going to get to your questions, I and Mal. There's more to it that I'd like to say about it. I feel like I'm going to need a really comprehensive video about this. But I hope that helps at least a little bit. Anmal, can you do Loomis? Oh, wait, 1 second, Anmal. Poline, is it okay to criticize my artworks? Yeah, you can, if you want me to. It's critique, not criticize. But yeah, you can put it into the Discord and just tag me if you really wanted me to take a look at it for some reason. I might not be able to get to all of them or anything, but I don't mind looking at it and like giving you a couple notes about what you could improve on or something. Good night, Eli. All right, and then Anmal, can you do Loomis how to draw a circle head properly? Can you explain, please? Can I be your student? Yeah, I have social media. You can look at the About page on my YouTube and find all my links there. But YouTube is really, where I'm trying to call home right now. In the next stream, just say hello, docs. Good night, Art Diary. Yeah, that's okay if you can't afford classes. There's a lot of art education out there for free, Jesus, I can't get this. feel like there is a slight angle. Maybe it's the eyebrow too that's messing me up. I'll post it on Whip. Okay, I'll take a look at it later, Poe. McCool, yeah, you're visible on my screen. Which question? Can you post it again, McCool? I missed your question. Can you copy paste it? I don't see it, so. That's a little bit better. Okay. I'm gonna take this as a win. Igo is trying to draw it straight on, and there's a little bit of perspective here. The head is tilted slightly. Like it's this way, not straight on. And that might have been part of my problem, so. All right. McCool. Bro, copy and paste it for me. I'm drawing. Where can I find the Discord? I clicked on the link on the website, but it doesn't work. Oh, sorry, Candace. I'll put up a new link today. I made it so that it was only temporary. So when I first made the Discord, someone was telling me that if I didn't like protect it properly, that I could get a bunch of spam invites. And I don't like have mods or anything, and I'm not there all the time, so I didn't want to risk the Discord being like overtaken. All right, I forgive you, McCool. Let me scroll up. So I'll post another link, Candace, and then, or actually, you know what? I'll post one right now in the chat because I can just do that. Invite people. Copy. Here you go. That'll work for 7 days. All right. McCool. You said, I think from my side, making notes on art studies is kind of helpful for me. Like when revisiting a sketch, we can understand the whole process and method. Am I right? I don't necessarily make notes on my art studies. I take note like in my head. If that helps you, I mean, go right ahead. That's not a bad thing. I don't think it's necessary. But again, if it's something you want to do, go ahead. Oh, that is not how that works. Okay. Yeah, those bots that only post corn invites, it's really pissed me off. Yeah, I don't want any of that in our rooms, so it happened once on the old Discord that I had. So it does happen when you don't intend for it to happen. I'm oh my god. I'm so bad at hair, dude. I cannot wait till hair gets a little bit easier. Hey, baby angel. Hello. Can I give you just advice? No, not master, but still. No. It's just not something that I let people do on stream, McCool. I appreciate it. I know that there are things that are screwed up. Like, I'm not blind, although sometimes, you are blind to your own work. But it doesn't help to have people tell me all this stuff. Like, if I ask for it, that's a different story. And then you are more than welcome to do that. But unless I ask for it, no, I don't want any unsolicited advice. I appreciate you wanting to help, though. I think I may have shared this story before. I don't remember. I remember my roommate. We were both artists at the time. He had a friend over, and I was friends with her too. And she came into my room to say hi, and I just happened to be studying, um, like a little environment study, and she just started like critiquing my piece after saying hi, and I was like, I didn't ask you to say anything. Like, why are you? Go see who you came to see. Why are you telling me all the things I did wrong in my piece? I didn't ask you. Unwarranted advice is never fun. Hmm, not bad. Could be better. What's happening? Hello, sigh. Oh my god, I haven't saved this whole time. Could have lost all of my beautiful studies. There we go. Okay. Now, I thought it was frozen. I think it made his jaw too big, but that's all right. Yeah, I remember that story. That's just rude. Yeah, get very defensive. Someone started to critique my art. Yeah, me too. Especially back then, I was like way more insecure about my art. How do you deal with all the different advice or comments on your art? Studying and improving is such a personal journey. Yeah, I think just getting comfortable with the fact that you're learning and a lot of it is going to be failure, you know? You have to find the wins for yourself. The wins are in the progress, right? Not in the fact that you made like the most perfect piece that there is possible. It's all about the progress. And that's what you should be proud of, no matter how small that is. And sometimes it's not even in the artwork. It's the fact that you just were able to sit down for yourself several days in a row and was able to draw something, you know? Sometimes it's just literally about you showing up. And the art may, or actually will most likely, in fact, suck a lot. But, you know, just by doing pieces and sitting down and getting there, like, it doesn't take long to get to a piece that you like. Your eyes are always catching up with the things that you're envisioning. And then both of those things are growing. So it's not like you're always going to draw things that look terrible to you. So yeah, dealing with different advice and comments. Like I got a comment the other day. Oh my god, I should actually read this because I thought it was funny. Listen to these two sentences. This was on one of my videos. And I was talking about the struggle that I have with drawing. So the first sentence is, I think you still feel the shame and you beat yourself for not going through with this. Through with this is doing the drawing stuff. I think you haven't done much progress for how much time you seem to have put into this. You could accept that this is not your thing. You lack the talent that gives you a head start. Like, especially in a lot of these videos, I talk about how talent is just like a myth. And it's just, some people just happen to get a head start, usually through circumstances and privilege and things like that. You know, right? I've gotten a handful of comments that are pretty fucking rude, and I'll admit that the first couple ones when I was starting out the channel, right, were hard to hear. I even had a couple like tiffs on TikTok and stuff because that's where I started, was on TikTok. One of the biggest ones that I had. Oh, I'll get into that in a second. But anyways, Candace, like, you're going to get haters all the time. A lot of it, like, that guy is probably talking about himself, right? A lot of people who put you down and want to make you feel like shit or give you weird advice about art are talking about themselves. Like, it's a self-reflection. He probably had some goal that he gave up and just wants everybody else to feel shitty because he gave up on his own dream, right? So you have to... I talk to my wife about this a lot because she's this as a people pleaser, she says. And I told her I used to be a big people pleaser too. It's like when you ever have, you're a people pleaser when you, someone invites you out to do something and you really don't want to go, whether it's because you don't like the people or you don't want to go to the place that they're describing. But you can't say no. Like you feel uncomfortable because you're going to let those people down. That's a people pleaser, right? And it took me a long time to get to a point, just even personally, where I was able to be selfish enough, if you want to put it in that context, for myself to say no. Like, I'm good. I don't want to do that. And when you can do that for yourself, like in just your daily life, you can do that for yourself with art, right? That comments like that won't bother you. Or weird advice towards your art. Because you know your personal journey. You don't need to hear anybody else's thing. And anybody who's a friend to you is only going to say positive, encouraging things. And if they're a friend and they don't say something like that, you can always, as long as you're confident in yourself, you can always say like, hey, why are you putting me down for this? Basically, people are projecting the insecurity onto someone. Yeah, basically. But yeah, I had the worst one that I had that got me really bad. I was very anxious about it and everything. No, you didn't say anything wrong. Cool. At least I don't think so. There was a girl that posted, like, TikTok, especially when it was first coming out, everybody was like stitching, they still do this now, but people were stitching each other's videos left and right and like responding to people and saying like, giving their own opinions and stuff. And this girl she actually worked in the industry, and this girl made a video about how tracing was a really great way to learn. And I basically made a long video saying like I've looked at this research. Tracing is not a good way to learn. It's still controversial. I really should make a video about this because it got so many views and so many awful comments. And I said I would eventually make a video about it, but I said that tracing was not a good way to learn. And that's the short version, right? And it got so much hate. So much. And the girl got super upset. I got attacked by her, another like mutual friend that I had made on TikTok, saying like she was disappointed in me. A lot of people learn that way or whatever. And then I got accused of like attacking this artist because she's a woman, and like there are so few women in the space. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't mean for this to become a huge thing. Like, I've seen the research, and I didn't want, younger artists to see that and be like, oh, tracing is how I'm going to learn, when it's just false information. And again, you guys may not agree with me. It's my personal opinion, and I think there's a lot of evidence to back it up. Something that I have to present and make a case for. Just because we've done it in the history of our art education doesn't mean it's always good. It just means we haven't changed it. And we do that with a lot of our education system. There's a lot of things that we do with our education that are not helpful or good. And we don't teach like good ways to learn. And I didn't find this out until after my last doodle. You know my name? You must be someone I know. But anyways, that video blew up. That girl ended up blocking me. And I just felt so much anxiety from that, because I was like, it felt like I was personally attacked, and I was just trying to say my opinion. And I had a lot of trouble backing away from that one. Like, I was actually shaking because I was so nervous and like adrenaline, and it was weird feelings. Tracing is a way to learn. You should not always blindly trust research because it can be debunked. But the reaction is definitely overboard. Yeah, no, it's okay. Um, I I think, I mean, we don't have to get into a huge debate about it. I'll just say my small piece. Tracing is like the worst way to learn. I don't think you can't learn anything, but I think it's one of the most inefficient ways to learn, um, for multiple different reasons. And no, and you're right. You shouldn't blindly trust research, but there's a lot of good research on how we learn, and and again, there's no to do a study on. It's really hard to correlate a lot of the research that they do on learning with art, because to do a study on tracing and like figure out if it's actually good for learning would be so difficult. I'm sure they could do it, but it's art is so subjective, right? Like being able to make an effective study out of that would be next to impossible. I honestly don't know how you do it. So yeah, exactly. I mean, that's part of it right there. Like you need a big enough sample size. People need to improve. You'd have to watch these people over time. There'd be so many unique variables. Like it's next to impossible. So what we can do, or what we try to do, is infer from what we know about learning and try to pass it on over to art. And through a lot of research about learning, we know that when learning is like uncomfortable, or it's in a realm of difficulty that's not easy, it's better for you in general. And tracing is incredibly easy, obviously. So even by the smallest of standards, because there's more things that I could say about it, and I'll try to make a video about it. The fact that tracing is so easy means that you're not learning much. And that's really a simple answer for that. But there are more reasons that I have found that make it not effective. It's good for confidence building, but it's not really good as a learning tool. How do they do the research? How does it apply to different situations? Yeah, I mean, that's something you have to pay attention to too. You can read that in all the studies that they do. There's a lot of studies about learning and education that have been corroborated by other studies, so it's not like impossible. But that's one of the like worst things, is like a lot of the things we know about education and how you study effectively, we don't even use any of those practices in the classroom. Very few teachers do. Like it's probably a couple dozen teachers across, because they've done their own research. Like they're not even taught this. So like learning styles, right, was adopted by classrooms. If you're an auditory, visual or kinesthetic learner, and that shit is a myth. Like it turned into a fad, and then they officially adopted it into the education system. Like it's crazy. So again, just because we've done something for years doesn't mean it's an effective tool for learning. And I think it's been passed on so much in the drawing community that nobody looks to question it as whether or not it's a good tool for learning. So that's why I tried to like voice my opinion on that, even though it didn't go very well. Oh, I'm actually like, I've got adrenaline, so it's making me a little shaky even talking about that. Just remember. Oh, I don't like how we misinterpret research and apply it too soon into education. Yeah, our education system's abysmal. It really is. I was reading a book last night, actually. You know that they found that teachers who were paid more, kindergarten teachers who were paid more, their students ended up making more money. The more money your teacher was paid equated to a higher amount of pay for the students in the future. Which means, like, obviously we know this, but the stuff that you're super impressionable as a kid, so the stuff that you are getting as even in kindergarten is affecting you all the way into adulthood. It's crazy when we learn stuff like that. I love stuff like that too. I love looking at research like that. Random video, just want to let you know I'm super grateful for people like you to put themselves out there with all the obstacles of narrow-minded folks and whatnot. Thanks a lot for sharing your story and helping us out with your journey. Yeah, thank you. It's not easy doing all this in the public spotlight, but it is. I'm enjoying it. And I'm glad I have enough of a confidence, I guess. Like I'm secure in my mental space for the most part. I still obviously have issues, but secure enough to be able to do it and talk about things. It's as if making work more valuable makes you less stressed about money and thus can be a better teacher. Yeah, I know, it's incredible. But it also talked about in that how there are certain skills, like some people think that if you get, taught super early with math or English, I forget what kind of skills they're called, that you'll have a head start, right? But research shows that students actually catch up even if you have a head start. The things that actually make a huge difference are the proactive skills that I mentioned. Let me see if it's a good book. It's called Hidden Potential by Adam Grant. Yeah, if they were proactive, pro-social, disciplined, or determined. So proactive is how often did the students take initiative to ask questions, volunteer, look for outside information. Pro-social is how did they get along and collaborate with other students. Disciplined was how well did they pay attention? Did they disrupt the class? Determined, did they take on challenging problems? Did they persevere in the face of obstacles? All that stuff ends up improving your abilities and making you better in life. The people that learn that when they're in kindergarten are the ones that became artists, and the ones who struggled with that are the me's of the universe, which is most of us. We're late bloomers, because when you don't get that when you're really young, and that's not nurtured, it makes it a lot more difficult for you to stick with something. Bye, McCool. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. My ADHDs does not fit the list. Yeah, I feel the same way. I do feel like I'm doing it now. And he talks about the research and how people think that as when you're an adult that you can't change that. Like it's not there's no, what is it? Thanks for your pretty good roast. Did I roast you? Or are you talking about me that got roasted? Yeah, we're actually gonna wrap up here, guys. We hit the 2 hours. I'll be back tomorrow, though. Hi, CEO of Cats. I'm actually about to end, but I'll be back tomorrow. Only managed to get 2 drawings because we talked a lot, but there's number 1. They both came out good, actually. I'm happy with both of them. Number 2. Yeah, thank you for coming, guys. Impeccable timing, yeah. I'll be back tomorrow, same time, 8:30 to 10:30 Pacific. And I'll start thinking about our first Discord event, which if anybody again wants to join, there's the link again if you haven't already. Is that the new X-Men Poline? I've only watched the first couple episodes, but they were pretty cool. All right. Well, thank you everybody for showing up again. Oh, nice. Yeah. Bowline. Yeah, I gotta watch the rest of the episodes. They did such a good job making it look like the classic X-Men. It looks really cool. Pauline 4, Chicago, CEO of Cats. Cool, random video. Who else we got here? Candace, if you're still here. Last Doodle. Thank you for joining. If you were here tomorrow, I'll see you tomorrow. If not, it'll probably be similar time for next week. We'll try to do at least 2 streams a week, and if I can do more, I will. All right, have a good day, you guys. It was really fun coming back, so I enjoyed this, and good luck with your art. Till tomorrow.